Well, hello. I thought I would read today for one of my favorite books, Love Letters from God. This is a great book. It's got quite a few Bible stories in it. And at the top of every Bible story, let me find the one I'm going to read today. The top of every Bible story, it has a little letter from God to you. I love that. I want to show you, today's story is about a man named Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus was a wee little man. I wonder if your mommy or your mom or your dad or somebody in your house, or maybe a grandparent, knows a song about Zacchaeus. You should ask them. I'm not going to sing it for you, but I am going to read you the story, and then I'm going to read you the letter from God. So you can see Zacchaeus in the picture, and I wonder if you can guess who this is. Do you have a guess? Let's see. The tiny tax collector. In the town of Jericho lived a tiny tax collector named Zacchaeus. Can you say that? Zacchaeus. More than anything else in the world, Zacchaeus loved money. He loved it. He loved to touch it. He loved to smell it. He really loved money. He really loved to count it. Do you like to count? The trouble was Zacchaeus was greedy. When he collected taxes from people, he took too much and took more than he should have. Because of that, Zacchaeus had no friends. But what did it matter to Zacchaeus that he had no friends? He had money. For Zacchaeus, having money was the only thing that really mattered. One day, Jesus came to Jericho. I think Jesus is the other man in the picture, don't you? Zacchaeus ran down the street hoping to get a glimpse of Jesus, but the crowd would not let him through. Try as he might, Zacchaeus could not see over their heads. The tiny tax collector stood on the very tips of his toes, but he couldn't see Jesus. That tiny tax collector jumped as high as he could, but he couldn't see Jesus. So, do you know what Zacchaeus did? He climbed a tall sycamore tree. Now he could see Jesus, and Jesus could see him. Zacchaeus, Jesus called, "Come down. I'd like to come to your house today." Zacchaeus could not believe his tiny ears. Oh no, suppose Jesus found out that Zacchaeus was greedy. Suppose Jesus found out that Zacchaeus took far more money than he should have from people. What would happen when they talked? Something utterly amazing. Zacchaeus changed. Zacchaeus' heart was transformed by knowing Jesus. After Jesus talked with him, Zacchaeus wasn't greedy anymore. In fact, he gave back all the money he owed and more. Zacchaeus discovered that he loved Jesus much more than money. Zacchaeus loved to talk to Jesus, and Zacchaeus really loved to listen to Jesus. And in the end, for Zacchaeus, having Jesus as his best friend was the only thing that really mattered. I'm going to show you the picture again before I read you the letter from God. So there's Zacchaeus, and there's Jesus. Do you see the coins at the bottom of the page over here? And the really tall sycamore tree? That's a great story. When we know Jesus, he can change our hearts. Let's see what the letter from God has to say. Dear loved one, that's you, that's me. What a very important lesson Zacchaeus learned that day. Zacchaeus learned that there's nothing more important in the whole world than having Jesus as your best friend. Jesus is a friend who will never let you down. He will never lie to you. He will always keep his promises. And best of all, he will never ever leave you. Jesus wants to be your very best friend too. Will you let him? I hope you do. Love, God. I like that a lot. God's wonderful word for you is I have called you friend. That's from John 15, verse 15. Let's all be on the lookout for Jesus, just like Zacchaeus. Have a good day, friends.